Hey my Pilates people, welcome to my channel Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a reformer flow with a focus on the core and lower body. There will be a little bit of upper body in there, but not intentionally, right? We'll be doing some planking, so the upper body will be working, but it's not like you're gonna leave with your arms feeling like wet noodles, right? So lower body core focus for today. A couple things you will need are your reformer box, sitting box, whatever you want to call it. And then I have a ball for my headrest because we're going to start lying on our side. If you do not have one of these, just grab a pillow, maybe a large sweatshirt, and just kind of bunch it up as a pillow. Some people like to up their headrest, right? So this, if you have it, box. We're gonna be starting with the foot bar in your footwork position and with 2 medium springs. So for balanced body, that is 2 red springs. If at any point the springs are too heavy, too light, right, you need to make adjustments for your body, your carriage, right? Please do so. So please honor your body. Now with all that being said, we're gonna start lying on your side. I'm gonna be on my right side so I can face you, and let's get started. So I'm gonna try to get to the point where my shoulders and my hips are stacked. My bottom leg is just tucked under, and I'm gonna place my left foot onto the foot bar. Now, in order to get your heel down, the toes have to be hanging off the foot bar. That's totally fine, right? So hip stacked, heel is on. All right, so just from here, I just want you to press the carriage all the way out to a straight leg and just hold. I want you to think of that top leg growing longer out of your hip and out of your waist. And I want you to keep the length in your waist, and now bend the knee, bring the carriage home. Again, press it out, find the length and keep it as you pull the carriage home. I like to just give myself this hug here so I can feel if my ribs or my stomach is getting heavier into the mat, right? It just gives me a lot of feedback. And this top kneecap is facing forward, right? Hips stay stacked. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge, you can always straighten your bottom leg and just keep a little lift to it, right? So we're just working through the inner thighs a bit more there. Let's do 2. And last one, press it all the way out and just double check that your toes are still pointing forward. Your top hip is stacked over your bottom hip as best you can. And now all I want you to do is just lift that top heel up and then lower it down. Lift the heel up and then lower it down. For me, I have to think of my top hip rolling forward because it really wants to roll back right now. So let's do 2. And last one, now keep the heel lifted, bend the knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it back out. So now we're just working into this heel lift and we're trying to keep it super stable. And just check in with your neck and your shoulders, make sure we're not going into them. They're not doing any thinking for you. Really think about pushing that foot bar away and getting taller each and every time. Let's do 3. And 2. And last one, go ahead and pull the carriage all the way in. Now I want you to turn that top leg open or the hip open. So when we do that, a lot of times, again, the hip wants to roll back. So think hips being stacked. And now I want you to press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. So here, really think of the top hip going forward, but the knee going up and back. And the heel is just still out there in space because it's no longer on the foot bar. And for those of you with that hovering leg out there, right, remember to think of it staying lifted, like just above the line of your hip. Let's do 3. I'm hoping you're starting to feel that top hip work a little bit here. And 2. And last one, now hold it out there And now everybody straighten your bottom leg out. But I want you to bring it in line with your body, not forward in line with your top leg. All right, so both legs are turned out here. I want you to lift your top leg up. Think like thigh bones hug together, and then lower the leg down. We lift the leg up. Think of squeezing the inner thighs together, and then lower the leg down. Your ribs, your waistline, still long, still lifted here. Lift and squeeze, hold, and then lower back down. 2 more here. Hold, 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 and then back down. Hips are stacked. Last one. Lift that leg up, hold. 2, 3. Now keep it lifted as you bend the top knee, bring the carriage all the way home. Awesome. Let's turn over and do the other side. So hips stacked, shoulders stacked as best you can. Whatever you did to the other side, we got to do it to this side. So if you had that bottom leg hovering, go ahead and hover it. So heel stays connected here. Press the carriage out and pause. Push the foot bar away, so feel like the leg gets longer, the waistline gets longer. Keep the lift of the ribs and bend the knee, bring the carriage home. I'm saying keep the lift of the ribs. If they're touching the carriage, that's not a big deal. It's more about they shouldn't be going up, down, up, down, up, down, getting heavy, light, heavy, light. Try to find a place where you can stabilize them. And as I'm straightening the leg, I'm thinking of my hip bone kind of coming forward, but the back of the leg kind of going back behind me. And that's helping me just kind of tap into the back line of my leg a little bit more, just like when we do footwork. Remember that kneecap is pointing forward, and even though you're on this rounded foot bar here, you're still thinking of a tripod connection. So the weight should feel pretty even throughout your foot. Ooh, I'm feeling this leg a lot more. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one, hold it out here. You're gonna lift the heel and then lower the heel. Again, think of hip going forward, thigh going back. It's a tiny micro Pilates adjustment. Oof, this hip is talking to me right now. Definitely my weaker side. Let's do 4, waistline long, and 3, and 2. And last one, keep the heel lifted, bend the knee, bring the carriage home, and then right back out. Why did I do this on the other side? Kneecap facing forward, y'all. Hips stay stacked. Heel stays lifted and still in space. You got this. Let's do 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. That is a burn. Last one. Bring it all the way in. And now we turn the leg out. Okay, so again, hip forward, kneecap going up to the ceiling and also back. Heel slightly lifted. And then back in. So here, just working more into those wrapping muscles. But don't you worry, we're gonna do some really nice hip opening stuff later on. We're gonna be working, but it's gonna open up the hip. Keep working to try and open up the front of the pelvis to that wall behind you. Let's do 3. And 2. Remember your long waist. Press the carriage all the way out. We straighten the bottom leg. It's turned out as well, all right? So keep pushing the foot bar away. Lift your bottom leg up, hold. 2, 3, and then lower back down. Keep lengthening out of your waist. Lift the leg, hold. 2, 3, and then lower back down. We have 4 more. Lift the leg, hold. 2, 3, and then back down. Ooh, keep pushing that foot bar away. Hold, 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 and then back down, long leg, long waist, lift and hold, 2, 3, and then down. Can you roll your top hip forward more? Lift, hold, 2, 3, keep holding it, and now bend the knee, bring the carriage all the way home. Awesome work. All right, if you have the ball, we are done with it. Chuck it off to the side. Let's switch now to one medium spring. So you're taking one of those springs off, and we're gonna take the foot bar all the way down. Let's just go ahead and get it out of our way. All right, so first, before we come lying down, right, my feet are on the headrest here. I'm gonna take an ankle over the knee. I'm gonna take my hands back to the frame somewhere here. And I'm just gonna kind of swish my legs from side to side, just to get a little stretch in the hips. And then take the foot down, same thing here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take both feet back down. All right, so now we're gonna take the straps over the thighs. So make sure the straps, I think, go to the outside for now. So keep your feet on the headrest, and then go ahead and lie back to the point where your shoulder blades are like right at the edge of the mat there, okay? So just know that you will not have any head support. Part of it is, right, we're gonna go into a little extension. So interlace the webbing of your fingers, hands go behind the base of your skull here, all right? And then one more thing, make sure those straps are kind of high up on your thighs, and high meaning close to your knees and also in the same spot. So feet stay down, tailbone stays down. I want you to take a big breath in as you arch your upper back over that carriage, and then obviously just be mindful of the equipment, and then just exhale, lift your chest back up, right? Adjust accordingly. Inhale as you go back. You might have to bring the elbows in a little bit more narrow, and then exhale, come back up, elbows go wide again. Inhale takes you back, and then exhale, lift, lift, lift. All right, let's work a little bit deeper into this. Tailbone stays down, so you have a neutral low back. And as you lift up, keep the head to hand connection, but think of the chest rising up, and make sure your pelvis hasn't tucked back under. And then inhale takes you back. Elbows stay in your peripheral. As you come up, lift the chest up, 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 and then back down. Last one here like this. Exhale, lift up, lift up, lift up. And now I want you to grab onto the back of your legs. Pull your knees into your chest, okay? Keep this hand to leg connection, right? Now from here, can you start to roll yourself up? Think of your belly pulling back, chest going forward, and then come all the way up and just place your feet down onto the headrest. All right, now we're gonna roll back super, super slow. All right, so roll back, lift the feet. All right, think bone by bone here. And then once you come back, right, once your shoulder blades hit the mat, bring your knees into your chest and then just lower your head back down. Look back behind you. And then exhale, lift the head, push the legs into the hands, and then roll yourself up, but don't let your feet hit the whatchamacallit this time. And then roll yourself back, tailbone curls under, slow, 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 slow. And then the knees come into the chest, then your chest open, head falls back. Exhale, nod the chin, roll yourself up, right? Little slow deconstructed rolling like a ball. Now, when you're up here in this position, can you keep the shape of your body? So don't let the knees pull in anymore. Keep this space between your face and your knees, and then roll back. Roll back. A little bit of wobble action there, all the way back. Last one here. Think of peeling your spine up, off. Belly back, come up to that hovering position, and then slow as ever. Roll back, roll back, roll back. Now come back to the tips of your shoulder blades again. Take your hands behind your head. Interlace the webbing of the fingers. Elbows are wide, right, but still you can see them. I want you to inhale as the legs go out away from you. Keep the legs hugging together, and then exhale, pull them in, in, in.
Inhale, stretch the legs out long. Exhale, empty the lungs, knees come all the way into your nose. You have no belly, no boobs, no nothing, no organs. Exhale, pull the knees all the way in and in. Now when the legs go out, let your chest fall down. Go into that little baby extension, and then exhale, curl yourself back up. You can always hold on to the legs, right? Inhale takes you out, back dive over the carriage, and then exhale, pull yourself back up. As long as your hair doesn't get caught in anything. Inhale takes you back, and then exhale, back up. 2 more here. You wanna add the arms, you're more than welcome. Inhale back, and then exhale, scoop everything in. Are we feeling stomach yet? Inhale out, exhale, scoop everything in. All right, we straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Hands go back behind your head if it's available, all right? Keep your left leg still, lower your right leg down, 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 and then lift it back up. Carriage doesn't move. Left leg lowers. And then lift back up. Just go down to the point where the strap's not gonna fall off. Ooh, there's the burn. Lower, 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 and then lift back up. Razor straight leg. You got it. For 4. And 3. Think chest up, ribs pulling back. Last one here. Both legs come up. Bend the knees, place the feet down. Just lower your head back into the well here. Just get a good stretch. And let's go ahead and rock and roll you up to a seated position here. Let's go and take off the straps. And then let's grab our box, but first, we're gonna come down to a light spring. So I'm gonna take off my medium spring, place on a light spring. For me, that's a blue. If you have 2 light springs, go one heavier than your lightest. All right, so when you place your box on, make sure that it's not on your foot bar, it's up against the foot bar. And then also too, that you can slide the carriage out. The box isn't sitting on it. Alrighty, so we're gonna come standing on the carriage. Be careful, it's a light spring. I'm gonna take my hands to the sides of the box, and I'm gonna place my feet right about here. Okay, please feel free to readjust. Sometimes the spring feels like it's pushing you around. So I'm about hip socket distance apart here. All 10 toes are pointing forward. I'm gonna let my head drop and round my spine. So think like you've got something, like if I was there, my forearm would be at your upper abdomen, right? And I'd ask you to lift your forearm away from your stomach away from my forearm. Drop that tailbone down, think pubic bone to navel, right? And now all I want you to do is just press the carriage back with your legs. Let the heels lift, so you kind of roll through the feet. And now come into more of a plank position with your spine. All right, so now we're more at a flat back, all right? Now I want you to drop your head, lift up off of my forearm, and pull the carriage in. Your heels are gonna lower down. Try not to slam the carriage, right? We do it with control. Push back through the legs. Keep curling the tailbone under. Press the carriage back, find plank. All right, so find that long line. Drop the head, round through the ribs. Think upper or lower abdomen, pulling the carriage all the way in, and heels come down. Press the carriage out. Now hold here. Let your hips drop and reach your chest through the arms. So find extension, right? Now keep the carriage still. Let your head drop. Roll yourself up into that rounded shape. Then you pull the carriage in with your low belly muscles and lower the heels down, right? We press the carriage out, maybe a little bit faster this time. Hips drop, chest rolls through the arms, and then nod your chin, keep the carriage still. Keep the carriage still, roll yourself up, and then low belly pulls the carriage in, get deeper into that round back. Again, press the carriage back, hips lower, reach the chest through the arms, find that baby back dive, nod the chin, roll yourself up, don't let that carriage move. Ooh, I got excited there. And then pull the carriage in, pubic bone to navel, lower the heels down. Last one here. Press it out. Hips lower. Chest rolls through the arms. Find your armpits here. Carriage doesn't move. Push the box away. Roll up, roll up, roll up. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Pull the carriage all the way in. Nice work. All right, so be careful. I want you to step your right foot up onto the box. So it's centered, meaning it's not super forward and the heel is not hanging off. My legs are still in hip socket distance apart here. All right, I'm just gonna place my hands onto the box. All I want you to do is just press the carriage back. So my back leg is trying to stay straight. My right knee is driving forward past my toes, but my heel is staying down. And now I'm gonna round and lift into my spine. Carriage pulls in. I'm gonna sit the hips back and try to straighten my front leg. All right, toes might have to lift, sit the hips back. And now toes come back down. Bend into that front knee, press the carriage back. Maybe my back flattens out a little bit. And then round, pull the carriage under. Think of your right hip going down to that left inner thigh. Press the carriage back. Now when you're here, think of your right hip spiraling back, left hip spiraling forward, right? Because a lot of times we want to open up that hip. And then round, pull the carriage in, legs go straight, get a good stretch. Last one like this. Round, lift the belly off that thigh. All right, so now go out into that lunge. If you can, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Again, find your inner thighs. And now as you round up and over, right, that front leg is gonna straighten a little bit, pull the carriage under, press the carriage back, arms lift. We maybe find a little bit of an extension and then round into your spine, pull the carriage in. All right, now we're gonna keep your front knee bent, right? So as you pull the carriage in, you just round up and over, right? Think knee kind of over that heel. Press the carriage back and then round, pull the carriage in. So back leg stay straight. And up and over. Hopefully we're starting to feel a little bit more into that front leg. I know I am. And round. We have 2. Think pulling down on that box. Last one. Now go out into your lunge. I don't care what your arms are doing here. Your front heel, can you lift it? And lower it. Woo-hoo! Can you lift it? And lower it. You got it. Again, think right hip back, left hip forward. You've got 3 and 2. And last one. Take your hands down, and now I want you to shimmy your foot back to where your heel is hanging off. All right, so think of it just staying a little bit lifted here. Come up onto like little spider fingers. Come down into that lunge. Round into your spine, curl your tailbone under, lift your belly, or really your ribs off of that thigh, even if it's touching. Bend the back knee, pull the carriage in, and back out. So little mountain climber, scooter action here. And keep trying to round into that tailbone. I am feeling this big time in the back of my right leg, or just the whole leg in general. Get so light on your hands, maybe they could hover. I am not doing that today. We have 5 and 4. Get light on that thigh. 2 and 1. Pull the carriage in and then just step the foot down, shake it out. Okay. We are now going to come kneeling. I'm going to be facing away from you. Okay, just again, be careful, it's a light spring. So I'm going to keep my left knee, left shin down, and I'm going to take my right foot up onto the box. If you are super flexy, you might be able to have your right foot in line with your body. I am not one of those people, so I have to bring my foot forward of my body. All right, so plant down through the left shin, big time. Drop your tailbone down, your pubic bone is forward. I don't care what you do with your hands right now, but I want you to press the carriage out. Try to keep this left knee under your left hip and then pull the carriage in. So my right hip the whole time, even though it may not look like it, is reaching down to my left inner thigh.
and then pull the carriage in. It's almost like I'm doing a little hamstring curl from the side on this right leg. And you're just growing tall through the crown of your head. And if it's available, right, these toes can lift on the right, that's fine. Right, and the more you engage through your lower half here, the more stable you're gonna feel and the less you're gonna feel like you wanna fall. So let's do 2 here. Last one. Now we're just gonna add some movement, okay? So I'm gonna press the carriage out. My left hand comes down to the shoulder block. My right arm comes up and over. If you can, straighten that right leg. And then as I bring the carriage in, my right hand comes down towards the box, left arm comes up and over, and then I press back out. It's okay if the knee slides away or doesn't stay underneath the hip as you go out, that's fine, but just make sure you bring it back under as the carriage comes in. Should be getting a lovely stretch here somewhere. Keep that chest open. Pull the carriage in. 2 more here. Make this feel good. Open something up. Last one. Inhale into that stretch. And then come all the way in. Awesome work. All right, we got that whole other side to do. All right, so we already did our up stretch. We don't have to do that again. But now we're gonna take the left foot up onto the box here. Just make sure again that you're in parallel. All 10 toes should be pointing forward, okay? Keep your hands down to start. You're gonna roll through that back foot as you press the carriage out. And then once you're here, even though your back leg is pushing back, your front knee is kind of going forward. Maybe you get a little stretch in the back of that ankle. And then as you pull the carriage in, we round into ourselves, sit the hips back, and try to straighten that front leg. Ooh, that's tight. Press the carriage back, and then round and lift into yourself and sit the hips back. Make sure those inner thighs stay at the party. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you're tight in your hips, like my knee really wants to wing out to the side. I'm trying to keep it facing forward. And keep dropping the left hip down to that right inner thigh. Last one here with hands on the box. All right, so now press the carriage out, reach the arms up to the ceiling if that's available, right? And then you take the hands down, pull the carriage in, sit the hips back, round through that spine, press the carriage back, arms lift, maybe we find a little baby back bend, and then pull the carriage in. All right, now we're gonna keep the front knee bent, right? So as the carriage comes in, back leg stays straight. You got it. Again, press it out. So we just go deeper into that lunge here. And that front leg is constantly pulling back, right? Like your legs are a pair of scissors. I don't know about you, but this side feels really awkward for me. Like I've never done it before. Ooh. Let's do 2. Other side felt super graceful. Last one. Holy cannoli. All right, so do whatever you like with your hands. Back leg stays straight. Your front heel is gonna lift and lower. Front heel is gonna lift and lower. Ooh, lift and lower. I tell you what, this channel has really pushed me to do things that I'm not so strong at. And it's good. It's good. So I have you guys to thank for that. Let's do 4 and 3. Doesn't always have to be pretty. Last one, place that heel down, bring the carriage all the way in. All right, we shimmy the foot down. So that left heel is kind of hanging off, but it's trying to stay a little elevated, all right? So I'm gonna press the carriage back. I'm kind of on spider fingers here, right? Round, lift those ribs off your thigh. Pull the carriage in,
Let those hips sit back and then press the carriage back. So the front leg is super, super stable, right? It's your mountain climbers, it's your scooters, it's all the things. Now, if you like, you could take your hands off. They could reach forward, right? It's totally up to you. Either way though, I want you to lift those ribs off your thigh, y'all. Try not to sink down. Long neck. Oh, my heel is dropping. Let's do 4. You got it. My cat's just along for the ride here. And 3. And 2. And last one. Pull that carriage all the way in. Oh my goodness, that left hip felt like it was gonna fall off there. All right, so we come kneeling to this side. I almost forgot. So right shin is down. Left foot up onto the box. Okay, so still think here like legs like a pair of scissors, right? So the back of this leg is pulling the carriage in. This shin is pushing down, but also hugging in, right? So find stability here. Tailbone is dropped, pubic bone is forward, right? Now with control, press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. Still think of this hip going down to your inner thigh. And that should help deepen the stretch. And if you feel okay with it, maybe the toes lift and you kind of roll onto the heel. Honestly, I'm kind of sweaty, so my foot slides when I do that, so do what you can. My booty's shaking a little bit. Again, think hip forward, knee going up and back, just like we did with that sideline footwork. Let's do 3. I know you can't see this, but things are shaking right now. They're a little tremor. And 2. And on this next one, you're gonna go out. We kind of windmill over, hand comes down. We find a big counter stretch and then pull the carriage in. We windmill over to this side. Open up your chest, breathe down that whole right side, and then windmill up and over, hand comes down, slide the carriage out. And remember, we're still pulling the carriage in with this left leg. So try not to lose that connection. Pull it in. Tailbone still stays heavy. Oh, this feels so good though. Up and over. Let's do 2 more here. Open up your chest, drop those shoulders down away from the ears. This is your last one, best one here. Still growing tall and long. Awesome. Pull it all the way in. Nice work. Okay, so now I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna face away from the box. And I'm gonna place my toes kind of up onto the box here, okay? So if at any point it's just too much of an angle or you just don't like having your feet on the box, you can always take the box away and just place your feet on your platform. So I'm gonna inch the carriage out a little bit, just so I don't feel so scrunched up. You can either be on your hands or your elbows here. Totally up to you, or your forearms. So I'm gonna start with my hands for now, kind of underneath my shoulders. I'm gonna tuck my toes under. They're on top of the box, right? About hip socket distance apart, right? I want you to push the carriage down towards the floor so your chest lifts up away from the floor. And now lift your knees, press the carriage out, find your plank. Here's your chance to like readjust the feet if you need, and just hold strong here. Energy out through your heels and out through the crown of the head. And now slide the carriage away on your inhale and then pull the carriage back under you on your exhale. Inhale, slide the carriage away, and exhale, pull back under. Inhale away, exhale, pull back under. Last one. Now, I want you to bend the knees, bring the carriage home, and then press it back out. As your knees bend, round your spine, lift the ribs, and then back out. All right, so we're going into that abdominal curl like we have in a few other places today. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, press it out. Exhale, pull it in, round, 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 round. Inhale out. Last one here. And then back out. Take a knee down. Guide the carriage in. All right. Shake it out. I told you we'd be feeling some upper bodies today because I definitely felt my shoulders with that one. All right. Whew. Let's add in some more fun stuff. So toes back on. Hands or elbows down. Let's do this. Lift those knees up, press the carriage out. All right, I want you to pull your right knee in, and then step it back. Pull your left knee in, step it back, pike the hips up. Carriage comes out, pull the right knee into your nose. Pike the hips up, foot goes back. Pull the knee in, pike the hips up. Pull the knee in, pike the hips up, you got this. Pull the knee in, pike the hips up. Now, press the carriage out, right knee comes in. Lower the knee down, and then lift it up. Lower the knee down, and lift it up. You have 3. Pull the belly off the thigh. And 2. And last one. Woo, we got another side. Knee in, lower it down, and then lift back up. Keep driving the knee forward to the headrest. For 3, and 2, and 1. Step the foot back. Lower the knees down. Whoo. Shake it out. Shake out the hands if you're on the hands. All right, we have one more. Little side plank, little twist action. If you're uncomfortable with going onto one forearm, one elbow, one hand, I want you to just play around with a weight shift, okay? So let's do it. When you place your feet on the box, I want you to take them to a little bit wider position, okay? All right, so let's do this. We lift the knees, press the carriage out. First, we're just gonna do a little twist to one side, all right? So I want you to pivot on the feet. Let your right hip drop down over to one side and then over to the other side. All right, now my hips are gonna go over to my right, all right? Could I take my left hand off and then bring it back down? Pivot over to the left, or at least that's the side I'm on. Could I take my hand off and then bring it back down? Just be careful, that carriage is gonna wanna kick you around. So find stability through the shoulder girdle. Take it slow. Keep working head to tail length. I'm keeping my gaze down. I just feel if I look forward, I'm gonna get a little disoriented. But feel free to take the gaze forward. I got 2 more, 2 more. Last one. Both hands down, bring the carriage all the way home. Nice work. All right, we're gonna finish with a little thread the needle. I want you to make it really stretchy, okay? We might do a cat-cow after. So I'm kneeling, my knees are maybe shoulder width distance apart. All right, so I'm obviously sideways on the carriage. My right hand is gonna go onto the shoulder block and my left hand is gonna choke up on that forward strap. So I'm gonna grab onto the tape. Still same spring. So I'm gonna let that spring pull me and twist my body towards the end of my reformer. And I'm gonna take my left shoulder down to the carriage. I'm gonna think of both hips going to the wall behind me. I'm gonna push into my right hand to deepen the twist. And then I'm gonna carefully lift myself up. I'm gonna row my left elbow out to the side. And then I'm gonna let that strap pull me, pull me, pull me. Left shoulder comes down, head rests down. Now on this side, I want you to think left hip going back to the wall behind you. And then I'm gonna row that elbow out to the side. All right, let that strap pull you. Breathe into that twist. Last one here. Think of that left shoulder blade wrapping and reaching around to the left hand. And then row that elbow out to the side. All right, let's go ahead and take it down now. And then we switch and do the other side. Hey, boo-boo, give me some space here. Maybe just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, I want you to choke up. Let that strap pull you, right shoulder down. Breathe into your ribs. And if you're unsure about like, you know, hip going back, whatever, just wiggle the hips around and just see where you get the deeper stretch. And then we kind of just roll through center, elbow goes out to the side. And then let the strap pull you. In this twist, take a big breath in, big inhale. And then exhale, row that elbow out to the side. Right, use the equipment around you to deepen your twist here, to deepen your stretch. Let's do one more. Last row out to the side. Alrighty, you're gonna take that strap down. We've got one more thing here. Take your feet up against the shoulder blocks. You can come down to your elbows if it's been too much on your hands, if you've been on your hands a bunch. And then just press the carriage back and let your chest sink down through the arms and stick your booty out. And then on your next exhale, start to pull the carriage in, let your tailbone roll under and just kind of undulate your spine back into that rounded shape. And then press the carriage out, roll yourself out now into more of an extended shape. If the shoulders feel like they're too much here or like it's just too much of a stretch, just take the arms out wider. And then exhale, start to pull the carriage in, let your hips roll under you, come all the way in, and you are done. Nice work today. I felt a lot of things today. I hope you felt them too. And if you're enjoying this content, you should subscribe. Thanks, y'all.